Okay, so the business is Elevate Lifestyle and Wellness. And the reason I chose, it's kind of a long name, but I didn't want it to be fit, nutrition, whatever. I just didn't want to put it in that compartment because really what I'm teaching is sustainable lifestyle changes.
Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 68, actually. Did I tell you 67 earlier?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, we actually filmed 67 yesterday, so today is 68. So, welcome.
Nice. I don't know when I was on last time.
I know. I was just getting ready to get into that. Thank you for the segue. So, this is Trisha Bach, and she's actually already been on the podcast, but this is going to be different, and we'll get into all the details of it here in just a second. First, let's read a review. This review is from Kim F. Kim says, they are very quick with giving you a quote. Everything is super simple, no pressure. So thank you to Kim F.
Yay, Kim
Yay. For giving us a review. We appreciate it. They're super helpful for our business. Keep us relevant, which we need. So how this all transpired. Well, first let's do our peek and our fit. I literally already almost forgot. Go ahead. You can do yours, since you already know yours.
Okay, well, I have a question. Is it for the Nova painting or is it for Elevate?
Since today's the topic, I don't know. I don't know. Because sometimes, like, there's ebbs and flows of everything, and since you're so involved in both, I don't know. Let's make it either one.
I would prefer to go with the Elevate. So, the nutrition coaching business that I have. So the struggle has been my social media presence. And I guess I could say that transfers to both because it's actually non-existent. Intentionally for Nova painting and just, I don't know, I hit the brakes all the time whenever on the Elevate. So I don't know if you saw my social media, but I had several posts earlier in the year because I had a business coach, and then once somebody wasn't pushing me, I stopped doing it. So I know. So I'm vision casting for next year, and that is definitely on there. What is going well in the nutrition realm is I have been able to help so many women this year, which is my true passion, as you know, just reprogram their negative thoughts, right? Just their inner critic, how they talk to themselves, what keeps holding them back. Like, they have seen huge progress in that, right? So the scale may not be moving, but they're so much nicer to themselves, which ultimately brings happiness in their life.
That's a win.
It is a huge win. And
honestly, that's a bigger win than the scale.
It is, because you can't heal a body you hate, right?
Amen.
So if they are constantly picking themselves apart, constantly, I mean, you live 60% in the subconscious, right? So you just have auto negative thoughts going every day. And so I love when I see those light bulb moments for clients. So that's been fun this year.
That's so good. I love that. On that note, I was going to say something about Mexico. I literally just said that yesterday, so let's make it a little more interesting. I have been able to catch myself in my own personal growth journey. I have been able to catch those thoughts in action.
Good for you.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, wait, am I really stupid? Or was, like, you know, because I'll hear that. I'm like, you're such an idiot.
Right.
Am I really an idiot, or did I just make a mistake?
Is that how you talk yourself through
That's
it?
kind of how I talk myself through it. Like, those are literally the conversations that I have. I'm like, okay, are you really stupid, or did you just make a silly mistake? Like,
are you just human? I feel like that's a superpower, right? That you can actually acknowledge it, sit in it, walk through it, and come out with a more positive thought. I always tell my clients, ask yourself, is it true? Am I really stupid? You know, so you're ahead of the game. But some people will be like, oh, I'm disgusting. Okay, are you really disgusting? Or do you just feel a little less comfortable in your body right now?
Yeah.
You're disgusting? Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah.
Are you?
It's not so aggressive.
Right. So mean. And I mean, do we say those things to our friends?
Never.
Our moms or our sisters? No, we would never, but we talk like that to ourselves.
I know, it's terrible.
And I mean, I am still a work in progress, right? So I'm right there with you. There are sometimes I'll catch myself saying something or not doing something I know I'm supposed to do, right? And it's like, what are you doing?
Another thing that I've really been working on is whatever decision I make, just commit to it and not do the whole like teeter-totter, oh, well, I did say I was going to get up this morning, but, it's the holidays, and I kind of want to, like, be nicer and just, like, let myself have a little bit of relaxedness in the last 2 months of the year. So I'm really working on those things, to just offering forgiveness to myself, because I'm like such a high intensity, like go person. I'm like, okay, we can, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
To, like, chill.
Yeah, giving yourself grace,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I have some clients who are very rigid, right? And they'll just identify as, I'm a black and white person. And I'm like, okay, but where's the gray? Sometimes your body is telling you that you should not go to the gym today. Just because your program says that you have to work out on Wednesday, guess what? You can work out on Saturday. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
I've been really trying to be good about that. And I love that you offer that. Okay, we're getting ahead. Okay, no. It's not
we
your
could
fault.
talk on this forever.
I know. That's the problem. Okay, so PIT. Something that's not going so well. Or maybe something that I'm struggling with. Okay, so kind of in the beginning, middle of the year, and I've mentioned this several times, I was doing really good about reading my books. And for years, I listened to books on my phone, which was super convenient, because you just beat bopping on your car ride and pop on your phone. But I want to, like, be better about reading. I don't have a reason why. I just want to. And I was doing really good with it for a while, and I've just completely fallen off the wagon. And I'm gonna give myself to the end of the year to just, like, be whatever with it.
You're going into Mexico. You have
time
on the plane. You have time on the beach. You have time by the pool. I bet you're going to get through a book. And make it a fun one.
Make it a fun one.
Yeah,
okay.
Make it a fun one.
Okay, fair enough.
Like a fast read. Yeah.
I should. You're right.
Not too deep of a book.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah. Me too.
I do deep books for sure.
I just started one. My friend gave it to me. It's one of those you just pass on to people because you'll never read it again. And it's People You Meet on Vacation. Perfect.
It's called that?
Yes, it's People You Meet on Vacation. And I flew to Asheville a couple weeks ago, and I read it, and I do not traditionally read on the plane, but I could not get enough.
Was it funny, or was it like?
It's just easy. I think it's just kind of a love story, but not like a sappy, gross love story.
Okay.
Like young. It's entertaining.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. What's your pit?
Social media. I mean, really, for real. Like it is the one thing that I do self-sabotage. Like, and I identify it, I try to talk myself through it, and I don't get to the end line. Like,
okay, so you never get it to the post.
No. Yeah. And I mean, I have reels in my phone. I have the tools, I have the topics, I have it, and it's not a comfort zone for me.
Is it like and tell me if you don't feel comfortable sharing, but is it like the fear of, like, other people?
Oh, it's judgment,
looking
100%.
at it?
Yeah. And it's the imposter syndrome too, right? So, I know I'm a really good coach. I know I'm a great personal trainer. Like, I know all of this, but it's something when you put it out there, I don't know. And other people's opinions don't really matter. And I know that sounds weird saying that. Like, I don't care if what I'm wearing people judge. I don't know. It's like, it is something I've been struggling with for a solid year.
So I was listening to, I don't generally listen to the Jay Shetty podcast, but I find, like, little clips that pop up, and he was talking to someone, I have no idea who he was talking to, but he said, we are not who we think we are. We are not who they think we are. We are what we think they think we are. So whatever if I think that you think that I am dumb, I think I am dumb.
That makes perfect sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if I think, oh, people are gonna think this reel is, like, stupid. I think the reel is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, we like impose those, and this isn't like a blanket this doesn't apply to everybody, but I think it's something that I have noticed within myself. Like, I think, and not to every situation, but I have definitely picked up on, like, okay, I definitely apply that on certain things.
Yeah.
Like, if I think that person thinks I'm lame. When I'm around them, I am lame.
I think that's pretty accurate, and it's a matter of what I keep telling myself is my message. The people who need to hear my message need me to be present.
Mm-hmm.
They need me to put it out there,
mm-hmm.
right? So then 8 other people that
mm-hmm.
don't necessarily want to hear about it,
mm-hmm.
that's fine, keep scrolling, but the
mm-hmm.
2 that really needed to hear
yeah.
it, that it may evoke something in them, I need to show up for those 2 people,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I keep telling myself.
I know. That is really critical. I'm really big on, we've had these conversations, but taking care of yourself and holding yourself to the highest standard that you're willing to hold yourself to. And that way you're being a demonstration to other people. And that, for me, is more important than someone's opinion. I can't say that, like, people's opinions, like, they never enter my mind, because they do, 100%.
Yeah.
But I have to hold the message above, and it sounds like that's what you're doing too.
Just be your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
And I tell my daughter that, right? She's 15,
mm-hmm.
and there are times when, there's struggles, challenges,
mm-hmm.
whatever. And I'm just like, just remember to show up every day
mm-hmm.
as your authentic self.
Yeah.
Don't ever be small. Don't ever be, don't ever try to be something you're not just to get likes.
Yes.
I mean, really, the people who are going to like you are going to like you for who you are, and
yep.
the people who aren't, you don't need them.
Right. You don't want them around anyway.
Right. They're,
because if
they're not going in, they're not in your lane.
Right. They're not. And that's not to say that the other lanes are bad or less than. They're just different.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's okay. That's what makes the world go round.
Exactly. That's what I love that. I love that. So how we ended up here. So Trisha has been on the podcast. Her and her husband own a painting business, which, shout out to Nova Painting. They do a phenomenal job. They painted the exterior of our home. Looks amazing.
Thank you.
They're so good. And that's all good and
mm-hmm.
juicy. But today is about Trisha's business.
Yay.
Which we were at. How this all came about is we were at a networking event
mm-hmm.
at a coffee shop, and I knew that you owned the business. I missed the piece that you were so invested and so passionate about it. That's what I never really got to feel from you. And whenever we were in that conversation, you could feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I light up. I love painting.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
It's what pays our bills. It's what,
yep.
It's our legacy that we're going to pass
mm-hmm.
on to our kids. But this is what lights me
yes.
up.
Yeah.
For sure.
She was just, lit up about it, talking about it, sharing. Obviously, she didn't give me details of her clients, but she was sharing the progress of things that she sees within her clients, and she's excited for them on their behalf. So, sorry, I'm talking about you like you're not in the room.
You're good.
So anyway,
Trisha
Bach is here with us right now. Oh my God, why isn't it stopping?
I don't know, but I love it. I love this. We didn't have the sounds last time.
Okay.
This is fun.
So I want you to fully tell us everything about your business, what you're doing, your mission, your message. I know we've kind of previewed that on our pre-conversation.
Okay, so the business is Elevate Lifestyle and Wellness. And the reason I chose, it's kind of a long name, but I didn't want it to be fit, nutrition, whatever. I just didn't want to put it in that compartment, because really what I'm teaching is sustainable lifestyle changes, right? So I'm not the person, if you want to lose 20 pounds in the next 2 months to fit into a dress, I am not your person. I am also not your person who is going to hold you, like, I'm not going to text you every day and be like, oh, did you drink your water? Have you eaten your protein?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that, because I need to coach myself out of a job, right?
Mm-hmm. I
want my clients to feel confident that they can make those choices long term, not just during our program.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's really like how I started was a 12-week program. So it's customized macros, macronutrients, right? Your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. So we kind of look at like that caloric need and break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just give that and then have you start logging food. And then I can either write a workout plan or you can opt to just do the nutrition coaching. So I started as a personal trainer, and I quickly realized after about a year of training clients that what they show up at the gym and they will kick their own ass, right? They will do all the reps, they will do all the weights, they do all the things, and then they go home and drink 3 margaritas and wonder why they're not losing weight, or they're never.
Are you talking to me?
Girl, I see you at the gym every day, so you got that. But it's a matter of, they may have only trained with me 2 or 3 days a week at that time, it's an investment, and I always appreciate people investing in their health. But when you're not with me, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And so I hit this wall that, again, I enjoyed personal training, but I knew there was more. Mm-hmm. So I went on to get a nutrition certification. So I'm a certified nutrition coach. So I'm not like a nutritionist or a registered dietitian. Mm-hmm. That's way more schooling than I have in me. But it's really there's a lot that goes into that. So it's a matter of, I needed to teach people how to fuel their body every day, consistently. And then you can go anywhere and figure out how to do bicep curls and squats, right? Like, I mean, there's enough programming out there on social media that you could pick someone to follow, and it's not ideal, because there needs to be programming involved. Yes. However, it's at least you're moving your body, but I want to teach you the basics and the fundamentals of nutrition. Because people don't. There's a lot of noise, right?
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
a lot of noise. And it's, I did keto and I lost 40 pounds. Okay, well, how much did you gain back? 50?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's never do that again unless you want to do it correctly, right?
What I hear from you is you're teaching sustainability long term, because there are a lot of like fad diets out there.
Right.
And they're great for that, fitting into a dress,
short term,
going to Mexico or something of that nature. But it's a completely different animal to tackle self-control and self-discipline for long-term sustainability. And that is something that I love that you're coaching on, because there's a lot that comes with it. It's not just looking at your calories.
Right.
And this is my favorite part of everything that you talk about, is it's a mindset thing too.
Right. It is. Again, you can't heal a body you hate, right? So if you're constantly beating yourself up, constantly restricting, oh my goodness, I'm not going to eat this, or I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, guess what you're going to want to do as soon as those 30 days are up. Women, or who I specialize in, I have some male clients, they diet differently. Just everything's different. So I actually enjoy working with women. That's how I focus my business. Sometimes I just get like a spouse that comes into the program.
Sure.
But women are mean to themselves, right? And women, especially like mid-30s to mid-50s, have this whole I've been yo-yo dieting for 20 years. I did this diet. I gained this much weight. I want women to get off that freaking ride. Yeah. Hop off of it and let's figure out how to live long-term in a healthy way. Yeah. I had a lady the other day, she can't pick up her 40-year-old grandson. She just doesn't have any muscle. So let's get some muscle on those bones. Yeah. You should be able to lift 40 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. I think you may have said 40-year-old.
What? Oh, did I say 40-year-old?
Wait, that's kind of strange.
Okay, you should, it depends on how much the 40-year-old weighs, but 40 pounds.
Now I got it.
Okay, you should.
I'm maybe he's disabled and maybe he, needs help.
I could go down as a whole other route, yeah. But no, seriously, she's like, I can't lift up, my 40-pound grandson. Yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's get you some strength, right?
Absolutely.
And this is, people are like, I don't like to work out. You don't have to work out. Let's just move your body. Yeah. Let's just do a little something. Eat some protein.
So do these things look different everybody has a different lifestyle. Yep. So does it look different for every single person based on, do you niche it down for every single client?
The umbrella is the same, right? So yes, there are some people who are busier than others, right? Just maybe their work, their kids, their schedules, whatever. And then there's some people that have all the time in the world to meal prep and go to the gym, So I do customize it based on what's realistic. I never want to set somebody up for failure, right? Yeah. So that's something we really go through in those consultation calls is, what's realistic, because I've seen it too, right, where people want to go all in, right? I want 4 days a week. I'm doing all this, and then guess what? After the first week or two, they're exhausted because it doesn't really fit into their life. So how can I help you create a system that's going to work week after week after week?
Yep.
And that's been really big. Really, it comes down to like 4 or 5 different pillars, right? So like we'll look at nutrition, the quality of food that you're eating, sleep, which is a buzz these days, is sleep hygiene, right? So like how you're going to sleep, what you're doing before sleep, how much sleep you're getting.
Ooh, I would love to dive in on that because
yeah.
I don't know much about that.
So many processes happen while you're asleep. So if you're not getting quality sleep,
Sure.
think about, like I would say, that's when the workers come in, right? So like they're cleaning out your cells, they're doing the digestion, they're doing all that stuff while you're asleep. And if you don't have quality sleep consistently, those processes don't happen.
Yeah.
So that's where like gut health issues and stuff like that. But it's also your circadian rhythm, right? So like really it's important to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every day. Within reason,
Sure.
But your body wants routine. So we talk about that. And then hydration. So nutrition, hydration, sleep, and then really it's like your mindset, right? Like reprogramming, to be quite honest. So many of us just need to shift the thoughts. So we work a lot on affirmations and mantras, and it's actually really fun. I mean, I did not ever think that my path as a nutrition coach would go down.
How did this start?
So like the evolution, right? So a year as a personal trainer, and people are killing it at the gym but not losing weight.
Right.
Getting stronger but not losing weight. Turned into me wanting to become a nutrition coach, which that's actually ultimately what my goal was. But really just focusing more on nutrition and not personal training, right? Let's get the nutrition underway, and I'll just teach you how to go to the gym.
So you saw a gap.
Yes, I was hitting a rope. As a coach, I was seeing results from my clients. I was seeing them hit a wall, right? And I did not know how. I did not have the tools to get them over or around that wall. So as a coach, I don't want them to hit the wall. I want to help guide them.
I love my favorite thing of this, that you looked at yourself, because I think a lot of coaches could have taken the path of, these people just don't listen to me.
And there are so many that
and I'm sure that is the case for some of them.
Yes.
Some of them aren't listening to you. But you looked at yourself and you know what? I'm the leader here. On this section of their life, I am the leader. I am guiding them through this process. What can I do differently to show them a different way? And that's what you did. You took the initiative, you went through extra training and did all the things, and now here you are.
Yeah, and that actually turned into a whole nother training I got earlier this year, because again, a year of nutrition coaching, and I had this solid program. Some people were getting amazing results and some people weren't getting really any. And I'm like, okay, let's step back. What can I do differently? And again, not like it was the same program, but it was customized, if you will, right?
Yeah.
And so I just learned that there's certain, I don't know how to describe it, but there's a zone of people who don't believe in themselves, don't believe that anything will work, but yet they want to hire a coach. Like, I can do it for them. And it was frustrating for me because I can't make somebody cook chicken. I can't make somebody get off their phone. Right? I can't make somebody go to the gym. And so it was a matter of, again, how can I help that person realize their potential? How can I help that person feel better? Because clearly they're not in their most optimal health, right? So I did this transformational macro coaching certification, which was a very intense, worth every penny and minute that I spent on it. But it was really that deep dive into self-sabotage. It was shifting the limiting beliefs. And so, to your point, like, okay, am I really dumb? Or did I just make a mistake? And give myself grace. And then say something nice to yourself, right? So I'm not dumb. I just made a mistake and I'm human and I'm going to learn from this, right? So then all of a sudden you're talking nice. It's just been so epic. That's all I can say. So I finished that in March, and the experience I've had, as well as my clients have had, has been far different.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
It turns into therapy, which
I really feel like it does.
It does, but I don't think, people come to you because they want to lose weight. Okay, I get it. I will help you lose weight. But let's get rid of all the BS that you have in your head first, and then you'll start losing weight.
I think with it, because like whenever you, I'm applying like where I've struggled with this in other areas of my life to health, because I'm sure they are kind of one and the same. Whenever you're wanting to make such a change like that within yourself, for your clients, their body, the way they view themselves, and then with that is obviously going to come the way other people are seeing them, which we would like to just eliminate, but it
We're
exists.
Human. Yeah.
You have to accept that. You have to understand that you're worthy of viewing yourself in a different way. You have to accept that you are worthy of being viewed in a different way by yourself.
That is, I wish every person just hangs on to that message, because that's what, I mean, seriously, we pour and we pour and we pour. Like we give. And there's so many of my clients that never give to themselves, right? Because they don't feel like, you feel like your kids deserve attention, right? They do. You feel like your mom, your sister, your friends, they all deserve your attention. Okay, but
yep.
What attention are you giving yourself, right? Except for the negative, right? So it is exactly that. Like, you are worthy. Yeah. You are enough.
Yes.
Meet yourself where you are, right? Because so many, and especially as we get a little bit older, we compare ourselves to our 20-year-old self or our 35-year-old version of us. Okay, well, you're not that anymore, right? I might have a 62-year-old client who's like, well, when I was 45, I'm like, but you're not.
Right.
Your body's not. Your hormones aren't, right? So let's meet you where you are, and let's go from there, right? Because if not, you're comparing to a version that doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
And that is not...
It's over.
That doesn't feel
good. And you're
good.
wiser.
Yeah, like, celebrate where you're at. Like, I'm 44.
Yeah.
I look back at what I did at 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is amazing.
Yep.
I'm different.
Yep.
That's growth, right? So it is really interesting how often people say, but when I did this, or but when I was, I'm like, I always tell people, and this might sound cheesy, but I'm like, the rear view mirror in your car is small for a reason. It's looking back.
I just
right?
heard this from like Jelly Roll or something.
Oh, that's random. I think I heard it from like Mel Robbins. I freaking love Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins
love
is
her.
The GOAT.
Yes. So, and she speaks my language.
Yes.
So I just tell people it's small for a reason. It's in the rear view. The windshield is huge, right? Because you're going forward. Let's just focus all your attention on moving forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes they gotta let some stuff go. Yeah. Right? Like let that past version of yourself go. Like, applaud that person. Peace out, right? And then before I forget, on the Mel Robbins thing, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So where you were talking about like, oh, I'm gonna sleep in, or I'm not gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna whatever. If you truly want to do it, because I had to do this when I started waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. I just slowly started inching it back from 6 to 5:45 to 5:30 until I got to a point to where I could get to the gym at 5:30. So wake up at 5. Never in my life would I have imagined I'd be a 5 a.m. person. However,
but she is. She's there.
I am.
I see her there, for the record.
And I never regret it, ever. But the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have you heard of that theory from her?
Yes.
Okay, that has been life-changing.
You should explain though for anybody that hasn't.
So she actually has a book, and there's a podcast. She is at the Mel Robbins. If you Google "Motivation is Garbage," I think is the title.
Is that her?
I think that's the
that
title
sounds very
of the
Mel
episode
Robbins.
Because she's talking about how like everybody's waiting. I just need to be motivated. I need motivated. She's like, motivation is garbage. Like, you are your motivation, and you're in your own way. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 theory, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, it's some like neurological. So like when I always get this wrong. So like when they shoot something into space, what's it called?
A rocket?
Yes, right? Spaceship, rocket, whatever. Right? The countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then blast off. Right? So there's something neurological. There's all kinds of research. She knows it. I don't. That is your motivation, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then there's action right there. But you have 5 seconds to either convince yourself to do something or to talk yourself out of it.
Kind of like stimulates a decision.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, my husband and I, it's so funny because he's like, we're gonna 5, 4, 3, 2 this, aren't we? And I go, yes. and I mean, we're both sitting on the couch and we know we have to go clean the garage, or we know we have to go rake leaves or something, and neither one of us want to do it, but we'll just look at each other and one of us will take the lead and we'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we get off the couch and we go.
I love it.
Like there's no.
I love
no
that you have a partner in this.
Yeah,
that is so
he knows,
cool.
and there's times when I'm like, I don't want to. He's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love that.
So I used it for the snooze button. It's really what and that's how Mel Robbins started hers too. But it works. It works, and when it doesn't, you recognize it. I've actually talked myself out of it in those 5 seconds, and then later I'm like, "What did you do that for?"
Yeah. I love that. I was listening to Tony Robbins, they're not related but happen to have the same last name. Or as far as I know, they're not related.
I don't think so. That would have been discussed many times on the Mel.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think I would have heard it by now.
Yeah.
He always talks about the art of making a decision. Making a decision takes a split second. It doesn't even take a whole second. It takes like that decision made. But where we wallow is in all of the, well, we could do this, and we also could do this, and then we could do that, and then, which is, where am I?
We just don't do anything.
And so it's the actual decision that only takes a split second, which kind of feeds into Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love hers, and it's so easy.
So easy.
So easy. And I think you really have to listen to the podcast or I listened to her audiobook way back in the day, and it's like, it's not just getting up and going to the gym, it's raising your hand in a group full of your peers where you might feel like, oh, I'm about to ask a stupid question, because that's what you say to yourself. But you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it, and you raise your hand and you ask the question anyway.
Yes.
Right? Or you're going in for your annual review at your corporate job and you want to ask for a raise, or you want to ask about a promotion, something like that, but you talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But if you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it, and you just
do it.
You just do it.
Do the hard thing.
Do it. Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. And you have a split second to, I don't remember who told me this, like you negotiate. Every decision is a negotiation.
Okay, so what I'm saying
rationalization. Maybe not a negotiation, rationalization. You rationalize your decision. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah. You're trying to bring logic to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Tony Robbins is saying. You're hanging into the rationalization. You're hanging on to that for too long.
Yeah, and then
you're sitting there for too long.
And then you sit in nothing.
And then you don't make a decision.
Right. And then you feel bad about it, and then you start.
Yes.
Then there's this cycle. God. There's this cycle.
And then you're like guilty. Like, why the hell can't I make a decision? Yeah. And then I'm so indecisive, and it's like, you're not indecisive. You're just being indecisive right now.
Right. But you can be decisive. It's really so. Here's another segue. So the other thing that I work with my clients on is the I am statement.
Oh, yes, we talked about this at the coffee shop. This is good. This is
good,
juicy
I recently
stuff.
had to, no, I didn't have to. I chose to circle back with someone who is making amazing progress. She's actually been with me for a year, and I don't normally have clients for a year. This is just a really amazing journey that she's on, and I'm glad I'm a part of it, right? So she has gone through seasons of the year with me, with her progress, and it's just amazing. But she recently has started saying negative things again, and like in texts and on calls, or on our check-in calls. And so I asked her what has changed. So she used to look for hearts every day. Again, that's a Mel Robbins thing. Look for 4 or 5 hearts every day, and then that brings you joy. Like the clouds, the rocks, the whatever, you will find hearts when you start looking for them, right?
Oh my God.
So it brings you joy. So she said, I stopped looking for hearts.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So something as simple as that.
Setting an intention.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way to do that.
Yes.
You have to do that.
And you have to look. Like you will.
Yes.
Now you're going to be looking for hearts.
Oh, 100%.
Which I hope that you do. And send me a picture when you do. But she said, I stopped looking for hearts. And she just kind of got out of the habit. I think she had traveled one weekend. I'm like, okay, how do we get back there? Because she would say, I am, and then there was something negative that I did not like her to say because it's just not true. But as soon as you say I am, whatever you say is the identity that you're giving yourself.
Right.
So I am lazy. I am OCD.
Yep.
I am not an exerciser. I am, whatever. You can put anything after I am. Okay, well, whatever you say, if it's negative, you're actually validating
in embodying.
Yes, you're
what that
giving
is.
yourself a negative identity.
You're literally like you're becoming that. You are manifesting that for yourself, and so you will be that. You will be lazy or
right, or you're because you're giving yourself permission to be that way too, right? So it has been so fun to have people, like all my clients, I'm like, okay, write down 5 I am statements. But what has been more interesting is if you don't believe it, right? So like, I am a badass athlete, right? Like one of my clients, I'm a badass athlete. I am an amazing mom. I can't remember what else. I am whatever. I said, do you believe it? And she's like, well, no. I'm like, well, then you want that. Then you saying it to yourself or writing it down doesn't do anything.
Right.
So we do ladder thoughts. So I am working on becoming a better mom. I am working on losing 50 pounds. I am working on loving myself, right?
I love working on.
So
because what I find myself saying is trying. But I like working on more because that brings like activeness to it versus trying sounds like almost effort.
Yeah, trying is a maybe.
Yeah. I'm working on, I love that so much. Another thing that you just did that I noticed is you said I have to. And then you corrected yourself.
Yes.
And then you said, no, I don't have to. But I chose to.
Or I get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm very much working on that within myself. I don't have to do anything.
No.
I could be a homeless person.
You could do whatever you want.
If I wanted to. Yeah. I could live in a tree. Yeah. But I wake up every single day and I choose not to. And I get the privilege, first of all, of even waking up. That's a privilege in itself. And changing your verbiage to I get to do this. That allows, in my opinion, more gratitude to come in because it's no longer a burden. I don't have to do these things.
It's not a chore. It's not a task.
I get to.
Right.
I get the privilege to do this. I choose to do these things because it is my desire.
This is why we had such a great conversation at the coffee shop. Because we're like, oh my gosh, we're so aligned. It's the same thing. I tell people, don't should yourself, right? So, well, I should eat better. I should drink more water. I should go to the gym. I'm like, you are just shoulding yourself like crazy. How about right? It's kind of that's kind of a fun. But when you say I should, you're already telling yourself that you're doing something that you're not supposed to, right? You're already
has like an undertone.
Right, you're already not doing what you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So I say change I should to I could. And they're like, well, I could drink more water. I could go to the gym. I could go to sleep earlier. Okay, now say I can, right? Oh, I can go to the gym. I can go to sleep. So like you're shifting that. It's just a word, right? But it's the message that that you're telling yourself, and it's almost like if you say I should, it's negative. It's kind of blame, guilt, shame, whatever. And it's I could is like, well, it's a thought, and then I can lead to action.
Yeah.
So
I love that so much.
It is so much fun. I love what I do.
So tell me what your ideal client looks like. If you could just paint a picture, well, not like a visual picture, but like a thought process picture. Like you're looking for someone who wants to lose some weight, but also wants to create healthy habits. Like what is that client looking for?
So the demographic I really speak to is that mid 30 to mid 50. So, and I think I could help younger people. It's more of the mindset and lifestyle habits to create. I don't think that a lot of them are necessarily in the negative at that point, right? They're just maybe there's not enough education to stack. So I have had the most success with the mid 30 to mid 50 range. And those are women who, like I say, I help badass busy women lose weight without hours of cardio and restrictive dieting, right? Like that's my tagline, right? Because it's really like, I want the woman who wants to do the work, right? Who's not afraid to be a little uncomfortable, who's not afraid to just do things differently, right? And be vulnerable. Right? So I get the clients who, yes, but then on the backside, there's no action, right? So the clients that I see the most success with can actually be real with me, right? It's one-on-one coaching. I have, next year I'm going to do some group coaching just because I think there's a lot of value in, you might ask a question that she didn't realize that she even had, or maybe she didn't feel confident enough to raise her hand, whatever. So I think there's a lot of value in that. And I'm also going to do an alum, right? So any past clients, we're going to have a separate group too, where you can just come on. It's a Q&A.
I love that.
Just because I want that ongoing, right, for them. But it's one-on-one coaching, so it's just us, right? So like once they really build the trust with me, that they can be honest, right, and not just tell me what I want to hear, because I'm not with them when they're eating out. I'm not I don't micromanage it, right?
Yeah. Your ultimate goal is to help. And if you can't help someone who's not willing to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I've had that, and it's as a coach, it's like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and people are investing in me, right? As a coach, they're investing their hard-earned money.
I bet that stems from unwillingness to be honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Probably from unworthiness.
Yep. There's a lot of mirrors, right? So like I say, I get curious when I coach, right? So it's not about me. This isn't about me and what I've,
absolutely.
Like I sometimes there's different types of coaches, right? There's the advice giver, there's the cheerleader, there's the teacher, and then there's the curious coach, right? Which is a transformational coach. So I can be a blend of all of them because some people do need the pat on the back, the applause, but I really want you to identify, like, when you did this different habit, how did you feel, right? How did you talk yourself into doing something different? And how, I want you to be specific. So I just hold up a mirror, right? I'm just going to ask questions, and you're just going to reflect back. And it's not my style of coaching is not for everyone. Again, some people want to come and just be told exactly what to eat. I do not write a meal plan. That is not just, I'm not going to tell you what to eat, because then how are you going to learn to eat when you don't have me, right? Or do you want to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli every day for lunch for the rest of your life? No. So, I don't know.
And this is my favorite thing about what you offer is the sustainability, and the ideal situation is you get them started, and then they can take care of themselves when you're not there.
Yeah, and I want to support them, right? However long they need me, but I don't want to be their crutch, right? I want to be their support, and the educator and all of that, but and bounce ideas off of or whatever, but I don't want after the program that it all goes to shit, right? Like that everybody reverts back to their old habits, because I always tell people the pain of staying the same.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, I mean,
say the whole thing.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
The pain of change. No, the pain of staying the same has to be greater than the pain of change, right? So there was this analogy where there's this dog, on a front porch, and this person's walking up, and the dog's yelping, and it's in pain, and not the person knocks on the door, and the homeowner comes out, and they're like, "Your dog is yelping," and they're like, "Yeah, he's sitting on a nail," and they're like, "Well, why doesn't he move?" And he's like, "Well, I guess it doesn't hurt enough." So it's kind of that, right? So like we know we might be in some pain, but
is it
enough?
Crossing that threshold? Yeah. Yes.
And
I love that quote.
And I will tell you, like, the tears that people, if usually once they cry, then we make progress, right? Because once they cry, that means they get out, and again, it turns into therapy, but they're letting down their wall. They're identifying the struggles that they've truly had that maybe they've never let go of, or it's insane. Like, you hold on to stuff from your childhood that you don't realize, and then as an adult, you're like, why am I doing this? Right. Oh, that's because I was always told at 12 years old that, or I was told by a boyfriend at 16 that I was, like you hold on to it.
And you adopt it as truth.
Right.
And then you live through that truth. So then you have to realize that you're doing it, and then backtrack. Where the hell did this come from? Anyway,
you do. It's so it's empowering.
It is.
For these women.
It really is.
When they can let that crap go and just live on in their best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And they may be having a great life, right? But there's still a little bit back there that's just constantly gnawing at them. And I love whenever I see that transformation.
Yeah.
But
I love that. So as someone who is extremely disciplined, I'm not around you with the whole eating thing, although she's made it very clear. Very clear. Do not give this woman cubed chicken.
do not. Do not.
Do not.
I will not come back.
She wants shredded chicken.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I want grilled. I want grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted shredded chicken.
No, you like shredded chicken.
Oh God, don't let me take your order.
Yeah. Just don't. Yeah.
As someone, my point with the chicken thing is I don't know what your diet looks like, but I know that she shows up to the gym consistently every single day.
5 days a week.
At the same
rest
time.
days. You got to take 2 rest days.
So what have you found that helps you that maybe could be helpful for someone else?
That's a good question. What has kept me consistent over the years is how good I feel. So I have gone through, like, you know, if you're sick, like I've been sick, right? It's been a while because I treat my body pretty well, but you might not feel your greatest for 3, 4, 5 days, and you didn't, like, I didn't move my body, and I felt like garbage. Like, I just feel like my body's heavy, like it just, bleh. And maybe you didn't, like, I didn't eat very much because I didn't feel well, right? So there was no nutrients. And so I think that feeling alone is what keeps me going, right? I want my immune system to be up. I want to feel my best at all times. I just operate at a higher level.
Yeah.
When just like, even this morning, I wasn't able to go to the gym. It is my rest day, but I wasn't able to go get a walk-in before I came here. So I'm going to go right afterwards. Like, cause that 30 minutes of movement is so powerful. So but I also, and I don't know if I told you this, but so my son's 24, you know, Dalton. He has adopted my lifestyle. I never pushed it on him. Never. He used to work out with me. Like, we were kind of workout partners when he was in high school. You know, he had his buddies, but then we would just make it, hey, let's go to the gym. He has seen me live this version for several years. Like, let's just call it 10 years. Of consistency. Yeah. There's no fad diets. He doesn't hear me talk bad about my body. He always sees me push myself, right? So, like, I might have a new PR, or I might have a 30 days where I only do yoga because I'm giving my body a break, you know? And he's like, that's amazing, Mom. And he started doing that. So that's my oldest child. Well, I have a 15-year-old daughter who comes with a different package, you know, just because of the self-image thing that teenage girls have. Again, since she was little, I mean, I think I stopped talking bad to myself when she was probably about 3 or 4, when I realized I don't ever want her to say those things to herself, right? So she will slowly, I think, adopt my lifestyle, but I just show up every day as who my authentic self is and hope that translates to her long term, right? Because that just means she's going to be healthier, her kids are going to be healthier, like I'm creating a healthier generation, right, for my family. Yeah. Because I look back, I don't know how, like, your family is, but I grew up on meat, potatoes, and dessert, right? And I just, and my mom would cook, and it was great, but not real nutrient dense. Yeah. And even now when I go home, I'm just like, how about I bring food for dinner? You know? So I just want to improve the health of
quality
my
of
family.
Life.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like with a healthy mindset, a healthy body, a healthy, like, activity level, you just have a greater quality of life. Yeah. Do you have advice for someone who is very much getting started? Yeah. Mortified of any kind of lifestyle changes. What steps, and this person has never experienced a healthier day. Because it's just been the same, you know? What would be the first thing that you would suggest?
Oh, there's two things that I think really are the catalyst to go further, right? And it's, I would say, move your body. And everybody says move your body for 30 minutes. Okay, but if you don't move your body at all, move your body for 5 minutes a day, right?
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, and so I think if you say 30 minutes, they're like, 30 minutes.
Seems like
right?
a lot.
Just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I have coached people from, like, there's the couch to 5K, right? I'm like, couch to 30 minutes. So like,
absolutely.
You're watching TV, you're there, stand up, do a squat to the couch. Stand up, do a squat to the couch.
Yeah.
Or just get up and stretch, right? For 5 minutes. Move your body, stretch, get the juices flowing. But move your body 5 minutes every day. And then guess what? Next week, go to 7 minutes.
This
just
is great.
Keep pushing.
I love
it. And then the other one is hydration. I mean, people just do not realize the power of hydration.
100%.
And I can't get over how some people are like, well, I drink like 1 glass of water before I go to bed. And I'm like,
you are parched.
Like, how do you not have a migraine every day? How can you, one of my coworkers a couple years ago, she's like, I just really want you to help me get, evaluate my nutrition. And I asked her about her headaches, and she's like, yeah, every day. And so she started drinking water. Within 3 days, she's like, I haven't had a headache. I'm like, it's just water.
Yeah, it's just water.
It's just water. So
I have heard that is the problem to most headaches.
Absolutely, because think about it. So, like when you're hungover, right? If you're hungover, you're dehydrated.
You have no water. Yeah.
You are dehydrated. It's the same thing, minus the fun night before, right?
Yes.
So it's just your body is, I always get this wrong, 60% water, 65% water. And if you're not replenishing that, then it's just like this desert, and it's just not functioning at an optimal level. So
I have a question. So recently I've been hearing a lot about salt in the water.
Yes.
So do you do that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, no. I salt my food. Salt is not bad.
Okay, I suppose that would be a good alternative too.
So,
which I do.
I prefer to have salt on my food than drink the salt water. Now, if it's a really hot day and we're doing something crazy, like lake days or something, then I'll take, here's a little plug for my electrolytes that I absolutely love, but it's Element, so LMNT.
Okay.
Element is a fantastic electrolyte replenisher, but I personally don't like all the salt. So, like when I'm drinking it, so I'd rather have salt to my food. Ultima, so ULTIMA, is my go-to. Like that's what's in here.
Okay.
Ultima, it's on me all the time. Grape is delicious. It tastes like a grape Jolly Rancher without the sugar. But it has magnesium and potassium. So you have 3 electrolytes: sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Okay. And they each are, so think about like your brain neurons, right? They fire, and those are the signals, right? So this neuron's going to fire this neuron, and it's a chain. Okay. If you don't have all cylinders firing, then you're just missing some, right? So it's more like muscle signaling, nerve signaling, and like muscle contraction. So a lot of people who are deficient in magnesium might have leg cramps or foot cramps.
Interesting.
So that's easily resolved with just take some magnesium at night. It does make you sleepy, so I always say sleep at night.
Was just getting ready to say that I have heard that if you're struggling with sleeping and you don't love melatonin,
and you actually shouldn't love melatonin. You should not.
And I just recently stopped taking melatonin.
Please stop taking
because I'm like, no, I don't want my body to be reliant on this.
You could have the melatonin.
And I think there were other like health issues.
Yeah, somehow it ends up mimicking something else, and then you get not codependent, but like your body needs more of it. I can't remember. I actually just read an article about it.
This is very recent.
I was like, interesting, right? Because it ends up just not working. It might be effective for a very short time, but then it just kind of builds up and it's not effective anymore. But with magnesium, it's like the most nutrient deficiency that Americans have. Like I think they're estimating 70 or 75% of Americans are deficient in magnesium.
Interesting.
So we're walking around, and it's not easily fixed. Drinking Ultima, I drink 3 or 4 scoops a day, so it gets me to my 100%. But then you're also going to get magnesium from some of the foods, like single source whole foods, not processed foods. But that is super important, and so is sodium. People used to say 2,000 milligrams is the most you should ever have. that's not necessarily true, especially like, you weigh different and your activity is different than my husband.
Sure.
And so everybody, like, to just say, 2,000 milligrams,
Yes.
it doesn't really
apply.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So some of my clients, I have them on 3,000 or 4,000 milligrams of sodium, and because they're huge sweaters, right? Like they just sweat a lot. So if you're constantly, and this is something, if you get nothing else out of this message, is when you sweat and you drink water, you are just diluting all of those electrolytes. So you are literally washing them out of your body, but there's no replenishment. So that's why you have to salt your food. You don't have to. You can choose to salt your food, or you can choose to drink an electrolyte replenishment.
But the message is sodium is extremely important.
It is. Sodium and magnesium. I mean, potassium too, but I don't... Out of the three, potassium is at the bottom, and I'm not sure why. But sodium and magnesium... magnesium is part of like over 300 processes in your body.
Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty significant, right?
Which one? Magnesium?
Magnesium.
Okay.
It is huge. So if you follow any, just with my career choice, I follow a lot of registered dietitians.
Sure, yeah.
I'm more into like functional health, so I follow a lot of functional health physicians, and each one of them has the same message, right? It's magnesium is the first to focus on. So not all magnesium is created equal though. So so just make sure you're getting a quality one.
Absolutely.
I do like the Ultima just because there's no, it does have stevia, but there's no added sugars. There's no food dyes. It's fairly natural.
Love me some stevia.
Yeah.
To circle back to social media, I just lost it. I don't even know what I was going to say.
It's going to come right back.
Yeah, it is. I hope.
And go.
And it's here.
Yeah. And it's
gone. I don't know. It's completely gone.
Oh.
Okay, following. So you mentioned like the posting aspect of social media earlier. One thing that I think is really critical to our mental health is following the right people.
Yes.
And following people that don't trigger us, don't follow people that don't that are just healthy for your mindset. And I think everybody is in a different mindset. Like for me, there was a season of my life where I could not handle following people with very like luxurious things because I'm like I was in a season of like comparison.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a season of like inspiration. Like I can allow those things to inspire me, but there was 100% a season where I'm like, okay, I can't handle seeing all your awesomeness. Like I need to focus on my own awesomeness. And to identify that and take action. So I think who we follow on social media and what we pay attention to. I don't personally follow any news related things. I'm not heavy into politics. I just don't really feel like that's beneficial for my life and the season that I'm in right now. And I think to take a mental inventory for everybody is really important.
It is, and I say that to my daughter, and there's actually, was it like Unfollow Friday or something like that? But it's like, if that person, when you're scrolling, if that brings you, like, if you feel it in the pit of your stomach or just like this angst, unfollow. It's nothing against that person. They're just not the right one for you. Right? It's not you, it's me, right? But it's the same thing, like, I had to stop, when Instagram first came, like, it was kind of exciting, right? You're
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I'm gonna follow this person.
Follow everybody.
Okay, well, I unfollow people who are in their, like, if they're in their 20s and doing these amazing workouts and they have, a body that I know that, like, if they're actually tall and lean, I am not following them, right? I am not tall. I am short. So I don't want to ever look at their posts, which they do an amazing job at, and feel like I am less than, or I will never have that. Like, it just wasn't good for my mental health.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, and I think to be honest with yourself and to say, you know what, right now, I don't think that I can, like, I don't want to be exposed to this.
Yeah.
And maybe that will change sometime.
Just
or
doesn't
maybe
feel
it won't.
good.
But either way, as of today, it's not good for me. So I'm just going to let them be, and I'm going to, be myself over here.
But to your point with the news, like, I don't follow news either. And it's because
Yes.
It takes my energy, and not that I want to be ignorant about what's going on in the world, but I want to choose when I get that information. And I want to choose, like I want to actually turn on the TV and watch it and then be able to turn it off. Not just scrolling and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to see that. So I think we're very similar when it comes to that. I want positivity, right? Like when I'm scrolling through, I want inspiration and positivity, and I want relatability. That's what I want. Right? Like I want to feel good. It shouldn't make you feel like crap.
No.
Like,
and I don't like this context that we've created around social media and or the internet. Are there bad things out there? Absolutely. There are bad people that exist among us everywhere. But we choose who we engage with. You know, and we can choose what we engage with on social media, and it can be an inspiration and a guide, and you know, for the people that aren't in a place to get training through you, they can follow you. And I'm sure you post tips.
I will post soon. I promise.
Sorry, I'm like,
way to go, Michaela.
Setting you up.
Me on that. Okay, well, we're gonna just fast forward that. Yes. So if you scroll back, or if you go to my page, you'll see some of the tips that I did start posting. Oh my gosh, it's probably been a year ago. And let me just explain why. So I got started as an online coach, and then I quickly realized that I wasn't comfortable being online, right? So I knew, like, I should not feel the way that I felt before every post. I should not feel, even honestly, like, I had amazing comments, but I also felt that dopamine hit every time I saw the likes go up. I don't like that. I don't want to be attached to that.
Right.
And I consciously made an effort. I'm like, I'm just not going to do that. That's not my authentic self. That wasn't who I wanted to be. But with that being said, the more I learn about showing up, I need to show up, right? And not need in a negative way, I want to serve women who are so in a zone where they just don't know what to do, right? They're confused, they're frustrated. I want to help them. I want to serve them. I can't do that if I'm just sitting there in my house. I'm getting referrals, right? So it's just word of mouth is how I build my business, but eventually I will want to expand. And in order to do that, social media is the place to do it.
Absolutely.
So I will show up.
And you're gonna be someone that people want to follow, because they know that you're going to be a source of information, of quality information, and not just, you know, my dog died tragically 45 years ago, and here's my 7th story about it. You know what I mean?
I will be relevant, and it's a matter of, I actually just went through this like social media course last weekend, through the same coach that I went through the transformational macro coaching certification. She's fantastic. And I learned so much. I mean, I never actually took the time to invest to learn how to make reels, and social media is always changing, right? So did you know you don't really even have to put hashtags on there anymore? Well, I didn't know that. You know, so little things like that I feel pretty confident now. It's just a matter of doing it. And I will also say there was an intentional pullback, right, on both of our businesses, because we were so busy, and we are still so busy, that I don't want to put myself out there as a coach when I can't take any more people, right? So I've been full in my roster, and now I'm slowly, some people are coaching out of the program, and so I do have a couple of openings that are going to start around the holidays. So, you know, I do have more availability where before I didn't. So, do you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm here to do this amazing coaching, but I can't take anybody. So, I just felt kind of...
I know that's kind of a sticky situation where, like, okay, I want awareness, but also, like, I don't want awareness. And I can't take on anything else.
I'm a great coach, but I can't coach you because I'm full. Because I did know, running 2 businesses is a lot, right? So I also knew that I had to preserve my time for my own mental health. I was doing client check-ins 3 evenings a week, and I was teaching a class over at the gym, and so 4 nights out of the week I'm go, and then I come out of my office at 8:00. My family's like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Welcome back.
I'm like, so I had to really just step back and be real with myself and what I could, my capacity.
That's a healthy thing to do like a self check-in on, okay, what do we need to pull the reins back, especially during the holidays. You want to spend time with your family, I'm sure. Okay, so I think we've been rolling for like an hour.
Okay.
Which we could probably continue.
I know, right?
But
part 2 coming
someone has to tell us to stop.
I need to go get my walk-in.
Yes, and you need to go get your walk-in.
I need to go get my walk-in.
So to wrap this up, number 1, are you going to be eating Thanksgiving food?
Limited.
Okay. Second, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Pumpkin pie.
OMG. So we literally talked about, this is so funny. We literally talked about like overrated and underrated meals. My overrated meal was pumpkin pie.
But have you had my mom's pumpkin pie?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better.
Well, funny story. So I'm gluten-free. So my mom makes a gluten-free pumpkin pie, and then she makes a regular one because my kids love it too. So one year I was like, hey, I want to make your pumpkin pie to take to whatever party I was going to. I just need the recipe. And she said, so get the Libby's pumpkin, whatever. She goes, and turn the can around. And I'm like, oh my God, all these years I thought you had like this secret recipe. She's like, I just don't put allspice in it or something. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
So it was just like one thing that she doesn't have to do?
Yeah, but it's on the freaking can of Libby's. So I always thought that my mom's recipe was just like this amazing,
extravagant
thing. Like secret, made with love. And she's like, no, it's literally turn the can on. I'm like, I feel a little, I don't know.
I've been scammed.
Yeah. So I do love, and I will eat, I will eat pumpkin pie. I will save my calories.
Whipping cream or no whipping cream?
Yeah, definitely some Cool Whip on there. I don't, so again, being gluten-free, there's a lot of dishes that I don't eat. And then I won't eat vegetables smothered in gravy. And, so usually there's a meat. I always take fruit or veggies as my contribution to the... So that, and then pumpkin pie.
Yeah. My favorite is not healthy at all. It is broccoli rice casserole.
Oh, yeah.
And
does it have cheese in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like Cheese Whiz. So terrible. But, balance.
Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule, man.
Yeah.
It's 80-20. You're not eating the entire dish, right?
I'm indulging. I mean, that one day is going to take up like the entire month of November in my 20%. 100%.
Well, then you're going to Mexico, so...
I know. I was talking yesterday. I'm like, I am going to be totally a beached whale after I eat all these terrible foods.
But what's really... You're going to find yourself, because I know you and your discipline. When you're there, you will walk the beach for miles, right? You will get up and you will run. I don't know what kind of resort you're staying at, but I would always run around the resort in the morning. I would do beach workouts, right? I would take my van.
Never run around the resort. I've always done the gym. Always.
Yeah. Sometimes the gyms in Mexico are just, and it depends, you're not going when it's really humid, so it's not going to be bad, but sometimes they're a little meh.
Yeah, they're just like subpar. There's not much in there.
Yeah, and they're usually like rusted equipment because they're by itself. Anyway, I love running around the resort. I always do a core workout or yoga on the beach. And then usually your resorts will have some sort of fitness class, like yoga on the beach or something like that. Take them. Sign up for every class that you want.
Such a good idea.
Because you have nothing else. Like, you don't have any time constraints.
Oh my God. You're so right.
Yeah, and people are like, I can't believe you work out on vacation. I'm like, that's when I love to work out the most, because it's not like, oh, I got to get home and get my kid ready for school. It's like, I'm just going to go work out for as long as I want.
I have never done any of the classes ever.
Oh,
ever.
I'm going to challenge you.
I'm glad you brought it up, because I have always just gotten up early. Me and Jake go to the gym, and then we go back, and then we do the whole beach thing. Yeah. And I think you're right. This is such a good opportunity to... I've never even really tried yoga. So to try yoga, or to try the swim things that they do in the pool, you're so right.
Some water aerobics.
Thank you. That's the appropriate thing.
That wasn't always my favorite, but you might like. There was some water Zumba or something. I don't know.
But I should try.
You should try.
You know what I mean?
Have nothing
It's
to lose.
free at this point
Yeah.
since it's an all-inclusive resort.
You might even luck out with like yoga over the water. There was this one resort we were at where it had like this walkway and like a tiki at the end, and they actually did yoga over. So like the waves are crashing underneath you. It was amazing. So maybe you have that opportunity. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
joining us.
having me.
It was amazing. This was everything I expected and more.
Oh yay! Yay!
So thank you, Trisha. And where can everybody find you?
At Trisha_Bach. I also have at elevate.lifestyle.wellness. Again, not super present on either right now, but you will see more. And then I'm on Facebook as well. So,
Okay.
but Instagram will be the main. It's the same. So just Trisha Bach or
perfect.
Elevate Lifestyle and Wellness.
Okay. Instagram's the main.
Yeah, but whatever I post on Instagram will always transfer over to Facebook.
Okay.
That's just where Instagram is, I think, a better platform for
Sure.
my business.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.